Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Wow, silence for a shame. I am in Sussex today, and I'm at Cuckmere Haven, which is quite a familiar place to me. It's a beautiful day today. Frost, winter has come as of recording this. It's a beautiful journey down from the county of Kent today for me. Lovely. So where I live is quite nice because actually to get down to this part of Sussex, very similar to Rye, that you don't have to go on the motorway. Purely just potential back roads, everything else. Anyway, I digress. Today we're going to be talking about one of our pillboxes. One of our very special pillboxes, Type 25, which is a very special pillbox in its type. I will explain more about that, but we need to go find it first. Come on. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's really not a long walk from the car park, Cuckmere Haven Nature Reserve car park, to actually our Type 25. Our first one. There's two on this site on Cuckmere Haven. And I just want to say from the outset, now this has been well noted, by the way, today I'm only going to be doing this one. There is another one further along actually on the side of the coast, looking outwards. But today, this easily is going to be enough for us to talk about our Type 25. Well, like I said, there is another one further up. That's more buried, that other one, though. I'm very familiar with this area. In fact, we've done the very famous, the cabling stations over there. The generator building is not too far away either. And I do like to traverse this part as well, heading off in towards Brighton, if you wanted to go that way. Anyway, I'm not there to talk about that. So we'll talk about the Type 25 in the background. Beautiful design. We'll talk more about it when we actually need to climb up there first. So let's go do it. Come. Very, very impressive. Should we go take a look inside? It's quite small, but really cool. Come on. Right, let's go in. Oh, big old cool, that is a big old drop, that one. Wow, look at this. You've got to imagine that really, when it comes to pillbox designs, circular ones are more synonymous with World War I pillboxes. And obviously in this channel, depending on whenever videos come out, we will talk about World War I pillboxes and their function and their use, and the two different types you normally get, but the circular design was the most common. So it's quite unusual in a World War II design to see this. But yeah, Type 25. It's also called an Armco one. And the reason for that was because it was built by the Engineering and Metal Works Limited of London at their Letchworth Works, I think it was. Yeah, it's only about 8 foot in diameter and about with a 6-inch thick roof, I think it is. So look at that. And it's got 3 embrasures, which we can see, and it gives you a beautiful view out. Obviously, in wartime, you're not going to necessarily be worrying about how beautiful it was. Interestingly enough, for its size, it was noted that this would have held a garrison of about 4 men. And I'm one man, debate that amongst yourselves, and this would be just enough for me in this pillbox. I always like the fact that when you do sort of like, when they do put the specs out and they sort of say this was designed for X amount of people in a garrison, I mean, you know, let's be realistic, not all 4 men are going to cramp into this. But it's very interesting. Look at this, look. Beautiful embrasures, very thick as well, and very, what I mean by that is very square and wide, because obviously like, I can get my camera out and they're not that narrow compared necessarily to other pillboxes. Really, they're only built to bulletproof standard. And apparently the rear entrance was set low down due to its small internal dimensions, which we can sort of see there. But yeah, amazing. So therefore, you know, the sad thing about this one, in terms of, even though it was sort of like a manufactured design, it would have probably been one of the most vulnerable pillboxes to attack. Because like we said before, it's really not that thick. It's a beautiful design. But really, I mean, in forms of attack, I mean, well, defence, sorry, you know, you've not really got much chance on a place like this. But if it stops in advance for a short period of time, then, you know, I mean, again, it's what we talked about with pillboxes. Pillboxes are defensive by nature. But really, I suppose we could always argue that they were there just to slowly advance down into London, we would assume, if Operation Sea Lion had taken place. On this one, obviously we're at Cuckmere Haven, like I said, so actually this is a beautiful example. I mean, all of the defensive work, so all across Cuckmere Haven, just go, is what I'm trying to say. If you really want to get an idea, it's one of the most well-preserved defensive sites we've got, where you've literally got really interesting lots of different variants of pillboxes, different shapes, different sizes, and then you've got two of these Armco ones. This one, like I said before, and there's another one further up, and that one's more buried, so it's not as prominent, sticking out. But isn't this just, I mean, as pillboxes go for prettiness, you know, I mean, it's a beautiful one, really. But unfortunately, like I said, because it was only built to bulletproof standard, really, it's going to be very, very vulnerable. But yeah, made by the Engineering and Metals Limited of London. Sorry for sort of like butchering that word. It's just a strange one, isn't it? In Letchworth. So yeah, should we just head out? I think we've pretty much covered it, haven't we? It's so tiny in here. I think we get the gist. But yeah, just but like I said, all I find interesting is obviously the view. It really does give you an amazing sort of viewpoint in terms of, obviously, a firing point, really, for it would cover a huge amount of ground. The car park, by the way, is literally over there. I could throw a stone at it. So if you park here, and this will be your first pillbox, by the way, that you encounter, and then basically you straddle round the sort of side of the coast on this opposite side here, away from Brighton. And that's where you've got all your defence. You've got also the other defence on the opposite side of the haven, so it's split in middle basically. It's got a huge amount of smugglers' history around this area as well. I mean, there's so much history around here. It just so happens to be that to actually get an Armco Type 25 one, Armco one, is actually quite nice that I didn't have to travel that far to actually find one. So there you go. You can see what I mean about this step when I come out. It's quite sort of, yeah, you get the idea. And here we are. Beautiful dome shape. I mean, like I said, you know, if you had to say a pillbox was beautiful, this one definitely feels that spec. I just always find it, like I said, a bit interesting, the fact that, you know, they always say, well, it's going to fit so many men or whatever. I'm just like, really? But at least it'll keep you warm, especially on a cold day like today. But so pretty. It's nice actually where I live on this sort of side of Kent, because I know that actually with all these pillboxes, when we talk about their use and their function, actually when I've been looking back, I've not really had to go too far to get almost every single one. But these Armco ones are definitely really special and unique. It just so happens that because of my because I've travelled a lot, I'm very aware of where these two were. So in a strange way, these were the only sort of type, I think, well, I didn't actually have to look up. And actually, there's a really interesting story behind that. The reason why, it was because when I first visited here, like we're talking like decades ago now, maybe like 12 years ago. No, maybe about 10 years ago now. My first proper visit to Cuckmere Haven to go for a walk and everything else. I always thought, God, they're really unusual designs, and I'd never known about the Type 25. I mean, this is probably the most unusual type of pillbox that I've ever known about. And then obviously when you started to read up on it and the fact that it is a manufactured built type of pillbox, it sort of just makes sense. And then it's so pretty. And then like I was like, right, okay, when I'm doing these pillbox types, I know exactly where I need to go for this one. And I was just going to do it. And then here I am on a beautiful winter's day. It's actually a perfect day to actually be out. But yeah, let's head down. Come on. Well, everybody, as I make my way back to the car, I encourage you to come down to Cuckmere Haven. Check out all the pillboxes on the seafront. Basically, it's a beautiful area. So much nature, so much wildlife, smugglers' history, World War II history. Everything you need. You can go canoeing, paddleboarding, whatever you want to do. It's got it all here, and a pub just up the road. Thank you so much for coming along with me. Like I said, I was tempted to do the other one. However, time, unfortunately, as is always the case in my existence, is always short. But luckily, we filmed the best one, I feel, on this Cuckmere Haven side out of the two, to give you a really good idea of what these Type 25s are all about. Thank you so much for coming along with me. And in more words of Phoenix history, because history matters, and it really does, doesn't it? It's another type pillbox down. The most interesting one, the manufactured one. Brilliant. Right, everybody, take care. And I'll, of course, absolutely 110%. See you all very soon. Take care. Kapow.